Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and bring the little bell. Ring the little. You can bring a little bell too. Honestly, I won't look down at you, mate. Ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you are notified when new videos drop. You know, I just realized that just before I started this video, I was gonna post my review of Star Wars Andor episode 4, I think, yesterday, and I couldn't find it. I uploaded it. I'm sure. I never bothered uploading it. It's that freaking boring. Why is it so boring, right? Much in the same way as Lord of the Rings. Why are those two shows... I mean, Lord of the Rings is super cringe as well, but why are they so intensely boring? Because nothing freaking happens, right? Absolutely nothing freaking happens. The plot of one episode of House of the Dragon would stretch a whole season on both those shows, right? And they would still do them badly. New House of Dragon came out. It's wonderful. I mean, is it wonderful? Let me qualify that. It's very good. It's very good. And in this landscape of complete utter dire nonsense, it feels quite wonderful, right? It feels quite. But you know, I don't think it's as good as the premiere TV shows like The Sopranos or Westworld. I think Westworld I am loving now. Or Game of Thrones. First 5 seasons of that. You remember that? It's very good. It is very, very good. The characters are three-dimensional. The plotting is interesting. The dialogue is strong, generally speaking. The world is well realized and well thought out. There's not massive plot holes. It's not stupid, right? It's a proficiently made show, and in 2022, we learn that in the Valley of the Blind, the one-eyed man is king. House of Dragon is indeed the one-eyed man, but maybe he's more than a one-eyed man. Maybe he's got a bit of a squint. He's not doing so bad at all. So we have another episode. Loving this show, loving all the characters, loving how everyone's fitting together, loving the performances. Matt Smith is great. Man, Matt Smith is so good, because I really got the impression he was kind of happy and settled down with his wife, was it Lyanna, not Targaryen, I got Tess Targaryen because he married her, Valerian, right? And I liked their relationship they had. I thought it was really sweet. But now, this week's episode, in the wake of her death, you see he's really quite sociopathic, right? Now you mix that up with a lust for power, which you see dripping through virtually every character in this, with the one exception of the king, who has supreme power, right? The only person who isn't driven insane for power is the king, and the king is Paddy Considine is great performance. Is just trying to keep the world together, right? Keep everything together. Sadly, he's going to fail because everyone is terrified they're all going to die, right? And that's a motivation as we see them slowly move to this incredibly destructive civil war, right? This slow march, which you can see is happening. The lines are being drawn. They were started to be drawn a couple of episodes ago. It steps up a lot this week, but and it all takes place around Lyanna Valerian's funeral, which again, I love the lore about that. I love the history, the world building. I think all that stuff is great. But oh man, we have so much great dragon. It is a full frontal dragon porn this week. So much great, incredible dragon scenes. There's at the beginning they pan up and you see the dragons flying around. Was it Driftwood Mart? I think this is where they are. It's gorgeous. I watched it on 4K as well, which was like, oh my god, so good. Just so insanely good. Yeah, I don't even have a 4K player, a Blu-ray player. I had to download it on 4K. Yeah, what I actually do is I buy a subscription to HBO Max, which is hard because you gotta get a VPN to work that will allow you to subscribe. So I buy a subscription to HBO Max, and then I just illegally download it because I figure I pay for it. But I watch it on 4K. Freaking incredible. I mean, just freaking incredible. Exciting plot. I was taken in by the characters. I like the kids. I like this next generation of characters and I'm sad that they're all going to die horribly and everything's going to work out badly. And this is essentially going to, end the Age of Dragons. So it's a sad story. It is a sad story, and it's an inevitable story. Although I do feel, doesn't it feel like it reflects the world? In the last couple of years, we've seen this slow march to self-destruction, right? Seems to be that NATO and America and Russia and Britain and all these forces and Russia really, really want to have a nuclear war, right? Really super duper want to have one, and they are really pushing it for it to go down. So it's nice to be distracted by that by seeing a fake war being slowly marched to, right? Which is more containable, and at least you have Matt Smith in it. Matt Smith being fan-freaking-tastic. Fine. Like, share, subscribe, comment. All those things are very, very, very good. As is House of the Dragon. Very, very, very good. Like, share, subscribe. Comment, let me know what you think. Sign up my Substack. Email newsletter. It's how you're going to find me when the YouTube bans me. Sign up to my paid Substack. Where I don't send anything out. I'm feeling very guilty. I think today's the day. That sign gets sent out on my paid Substack. Fine. Like, share, subscribe. I say that every time. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Now let me hand over to me. One of my live stream when I went over this really very, very, very good and enjoyable episode last night. I like how it's somewhat different from what I read on Wikipedia. Right. As if history is somewhat the recorded history is somewhat unreliable, and I like they have that kind of wiggle room going on. I'm even getting to kind of like the titles now. Again, I'm still disappointed that these people didn't take over in episode season 6. Right, they would have been much better. But what can you do? Anyway, titles, bloodlines go every which way. It's all very complicated. All very gay. And then House of the Dragon, right? Yes. Oh, by the way, David Tennant's son, many people in the comments told me is adopted, right? It's not his natural. He looks just like him. Like, he's got the same facial mannerism. It's really bizarre, right? Okay. We start off, and again, this is why I love this show, right? This is Game of Thrones when it's at its best. We got some new lore going on, right? And it's interesting, and they don't explain it all. It makes it more interesting, right? So we have this is the burial of Rhaenyra Targaryen, I guess, or Valerian as well, the Matt Smith's wife. And it's I like seeing the different customs. So this is a water burial, but everybody's there. Like, everybody showed up. All parts of this disparate warring family have all showed up together. I like that. I like the genuine grandmotherly connection there. Matt Smith is great. I like this character. He is a bonkers sociopath. I mean, that's essentially who he is. He's a bonkers sociopath. Oh yeah. So during the by the way, the music is beautiful. Who does the music of this? Because there's a couple of points. It was just really off the charts beautiful, right? So yeah, during the eulogy, the I think his dead wife's uncle, right, gives the eulogy. Say they're two true-born daughters of the shore, because the princess who is next in line to the throne, kids are clearly bastards, right? Very, very obviously, clearly bastards. But I do kind of like this weird family they got together. So you got the black guy with the white hair, right? That's her very gay husband, and they weren't able to have children, so they actually had children by her bodyguards. What's Strong? So Harwood Strong, who recently died. The kids have worked out that that bloke Sawbone Strong, Breakbone Strong was their father. So they're grieving the loss of their father, who was just sent away, at the same time that Matt Smith's kids are grieving the loss of their mother. I don't know what's going through Matt Smith's character's head, right? He seems like he was happy with her, but not besotted, right? It's weird. Yeah, weird as well goes. So yeah, basically everybody's there, right? Everybody's there. Great bit of storytelling. Lord of the Rings, people, can you please just take a look at this? This is how you tell a story. You don't have a long, bad, clunky dialogue. This is Sir Otto Hightower. He was the Hand of the King. Now he's been brought back as the Hand of the King. How do we know? He's wearing the badge. Okay, that's all you need to know, right? But there's all this bad blood because she's next line of the throne, and her kids are clearly not Targaryens, right? They are clearly, very clearly bastards, and their father was killed. Oh, interesting point I missed last week. The new, slimy, what's it called again? Master of Whispers. Yeah, there's the spy chief. Is Laris Strong. So he essentially had this brute squad made that had their tongues cut out. To murder these what's names, a secret husband by burning down the room that they were in, and both his brother and his father got killed there, right? I mean, it's pretty hardcore. This guy, okay, this guy's really ready to go there. So anyway, but yeah, so it's lots and lots of innuendo rubbing her in her face that say, we know everybody knows the kids aren't real, Targaryens. And so much so that Matt Smith starts laughing. So then again, I like all the different rituals. This is the king looking awful as always, and the queen. This is the other side of the faction that the king's desperately trying to stop them go to a civil war, right? And just like, if they just listen to him, everyone's going to have better lives. Like, if America does go to a civil war, man, are they going to regret it? Are they going to regret it? Bloody hell, they have no idea. Man. Splosh into the water, and it goes down into the water. And then you get this insane dragon porn. Right? It's freaking tastic. Like, you swoop down. But it is. Oh, man, these dragons look good. I saw it on 4K as well. Oh, awesome. Right? Awesome. So, yeah, this is what Game of Thrones does best. Lots of, politicking, right? So she's like, go and say you're sorry to the girl's the mother's daughters, all right? And he says, look, I'm doing for the same thing myself. My father just got killed. And she's like, yeah, shut up. You can't tell anyone. That's the queen and Sir, what's his name? But he slept with the princess a few times when she was younger. She convinced him to do it, and he hates her for it. Right? He completely hates her. Paddy Constantine's the king. I love this character. Oh man, I just feel like just listen to him. Okay, everybody just listen to him. So this is a bit of weirdness. So we see the king's daughter is looking at bugs and stuff and being generally spiritual. And this is her brothers. The one drinking is David Tennant's adopted son, apparently, who weirdly looks exactly like David Tennant. I mean, when you adopted him, do you have anybody who looks very thin and Scottish? And okay, yeah, I'll take one of those. Right now, and this is, I can't remember the name of him, but his brother. He's the only one who doesn't have a dragon. They all have a dragon egg when they're born. His egg never opened, right? So apparently, David Tennant's adopted son, it blows my mind, is going to have to marry his sister. He's betrothed there to keep the bloodline pure. And he's like, that's weird. Okay. And this is the new master of whispers, who killed his brother and father, essentially, to please the queen. Kind of a fanatical devotion. Yeah, and they keep talking about how awful it is there. The kids are obviously bastards, and they get themselves worked up. What happened here? Again, this is why conflict happens. 99% of conflict happens because both sides are convinced they're in danger. Right. Why is Russia doing what they're doing? Because they're convinced they're in mortal danger. Right. That's why they want a land bridge. Right. They don't want an armed NATO on their doorstep. Right. Which the Ukraine was supposed to not be. People want to feel safe. right? Same with her. Her father told us like that when the king dies, and he's a sickly guy, he might die. He lives for a while. Renara, the princess, becomes queen. Then her kids are probably going to be toast. Right, that's the only outcome, right? Of that, you either got to like cling to her, beg her for for mercy, or you've got to get ready to go to war against her. That sort of, and she gets ready to go to war, and she is definitely several steps ahead. So he goes to try and like talk to them, and it's a nice little scene. I like how they hold hands. By the way, this makes such an absolute nonsense of the bullshit saying that we didn't like black people in just because they're black people in Lord of the Rings. We didn't like it. It was done with thoughtlessness. The reason for representation in TV shows normally isn't for the black people you're representing. It's for the white people who live in Martha's Vineyard. Right, exactly that type of people who wants to feel good about themselves because they think there's a show that's popular, not that they watch it themselves, that now has a black lead, right? So it's all about them feeling good about themselves because they are the hugest narcissists in the entire world. Anyway, nice little scene when they connect with each other, and he's saying. So this is his grandfather saying, "You got to get ready to be the Lord of the Sea, and brother's going to be the king." He's like, I don't want it. They understand. I'm clearly, it's not for me, right? And this is this is the grandmother, right? The grandmother of the kids, who isn't so happy that those kids are bastards, right? Meanwhile, David Tennant's adopted son drinks heavily, so yeah, this is Rhaenyra's husband, very gay husband, who has a good arc this episode, right? Great freaking arc. He's in the water mourning the loss of his sister, crying. And again, I love the whole like family unit they makes there, right? And I'm not sure who's playing the queen, but she is indeed very, very hot. Okay, yes, very, very, very shaggable. Yeah, there's more like politicking. So here's an interesting, and I don't really understand what. I mean, I do understand why. The king is just super nice. This is the king and his brother. The king's the one wearing the crown, obviously. And he's just super nice and brother. Say, come back to court. Come and live with us. We let bygones be bygones, right? Let's just move forward, right? And he's like, no, fuck off. I don't want anything from you, right? He just, there was a scene, 2 or 3 episodes ago, right, where he says this really nice note saying, I'm going to help you with your war. I'm sending you 10,000 troops. And he loses his shit because he doesn't want to have any help from him anyway. So he's refused to go back to King's Landing. And he's like, I don't want anything from you. And it's a really great performance. Again, this guy is just a sociopath. I think that's what really comes through this episode. And they're all like pushing, they are pushing to kill the princess. And he says, going to bed. And the queen doesn't need to go with him. Okay, essentially. Meanwhile, so then it's all dark. So I turn the gamma up, so I hope you can all see it. So this all happens at night. The hand finds David Tennant's son, adopted son, who looks just like him, very weirdly. How did that happen? I need to know more about this. This is very strange. Drunk out of his mind, he gets into bed because he's big on the fact that he wants him to be king. And they tell him to go and get his gay lover, the guy in the sea, and he's sneaking around, right? So good little conversation here. He's like saying, yes, we will do this, and we got to make our grandson the king, and that way, because you're supposed to be queen and you weren't allowed it, and I can't let it go. It's like, she's like, it's got nothing to do with my honor. This is you wanting power. right? It's all it is. It's you wanting power. And she finally he hears it, and he's like, "No, fuck off. We're getting the power, right?" So these are the scenes where we saw Matt Smith before it was released, filming on a beach where they added a dark filter. So essentially, this is the princess and her uncle, who a couple of episodes ago, when it's like when she was 10 years younger, she tacitly introduced him to sex, sexuality, and she knows she's got a thing for him, right? She's always looked up to him. She always like feels a little quivery, right? If she had a washing machine on high spin, she would lean against it thinking about him, right? It's not just because Matt Smith is quite dishy. So she'll say, "Listen, you're single," and she basically comes on to him, right? Saying that we should be together. It's for the bloodline, and they start making out, creepy but weird, and they're like, "Okay, I guess we're going to shag then." So she's hoping she gets pregnant. Basically, she just wants to have a white-haired child that will make her claim much stronger. Also, I know she's weirdly into him, right? Meanwhile, best plot point of the whole episode happens right now. Whatever this kid's name is, he's pissed off. He doesn't have a dragon, right? So he goes running out across the island, and finally he finds what he's looking for. This is the dragon of... oh, man, that looks cool. I didn't really have time to note it. That looks gorgeous. It's so good. So this is the dragon of Linara... What's the name again? Well, Targaryen, but Valerian, right? The woman who just died. And they... and again, he doesn't have a dragon, right? So he tries to climb up, and the dragon wakes up and looks at him, and he's like, he tries again, and the dragon wakes up and opens up his mouth, and you think he's going to burn him, and he's able to command it, right? He uses the no, whatever his name is, Drogo, whatever the name of the dragon is, and tells him no, and he commands him. He gets up on him, and he rises. So apparently, this makes it his dragon, right? So he's very happy. Again, full frontal dragon porn. Oh, Dr. Alex is here. Oh, I started the show talking about you, right? I'll tell you later after this. But I started the show talking about you. How you doing? Full frontal dragon porn. He takes it on an incredible ride. I remember my first time too. And they're like, and so they wake up the bastard kids and say, "Oh, the dragon's being stolen." Meanwhile, she's just shagged Matt Smith, and they feel somewhat strange about it. I think, I don't know. Happy and strange, I don't know. It's a bit weird. And he lands and he goes inside, and they say, "Look, you took the dragon." He's like, "It was out. It was my mother's. We were supposed to take it." A fight breaks out essentially, and the three of them start pummeling the kid. He fights back. He's about to bash his head in and kill him, right? And he just escalates, and he ends up pulling out a knife, right? The kid pulls out a knife and slashes him, and whoa, in a big way. And the white guard shows up, and the shit is hitting the fan, right? So the king's like, "Muff, can I just get a night's fucking sleep? Okay, I am the king of the 7 fucking kingdoms, defender of the realm, defender of the faith, and I can't get. Look at me, I'm falling apart." Right, and so her mother, who was at the throat of their mother, or the person who did this, is like, "This is not good." She is pissed, and she wants to know if it will heal. So, "Yeah, listen, the flesh will heal, but he's lost the eye." Right, he's certainly lost the eye. So basically, she freaks out. And then the princess shows up, right? Who's the mother over here. And she's like, "I want them flayed alive," whatever. And she's like, "Look, here's what really happened. They started the fight, and they were throwing around insults, somehow questioning these very, very black-haired boys, saying, they came from a mother who has very white hair and is very white, and a father who has very white hair and dark-skinned. These kids have none of those characteristics whatsoever, other than their pale skin, right? Clearly they're bastards, but they were saying the slander. They were bastards, right? Which clearly they are, right? But they're saying, he's like, well, where did you hear this terrible thing? And now the mother is scared that he's going to, she's going to be thrown under the bus. And it's like, and so the king orders that anybody who says this is going to have the tongue cut out, right? This is not good news. So he says, so where did you hear it? And he says, my brother. So, oh, really? You dropped me in it? Why me? Listen, I understand I'm David Tennant's son, but I'm adopted, although I look exactly like him. I don't know how that happened. It just did, right? So where do you hear it? So then we have this great scene where he goes, just look at them. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. It's obvious. Like, if he's making a fair point, right? So then he says, no, okay, the matter is closed. But she freaks out, said, oh, I want an eye. Okay, eye for an eye. And he's like, no, you're not going to do that. And he's like, no, Sir Christian, that's it. Sir Christian, you do it. He's like, he's like, you've sworn to me. And he's like, well, I'm sworn to protect you. I'm not sworn to stab a little kid in the eye. I'm not up for that. So she is not happy. They have worse. She grabs this big Valerian knife and goes after him. Right? She loses her shit big time. But then Matt Smith stops him from defending it, from stopping it. He said, look, they need to fight this out. Again, they're both convinced they're going to die. They're going to be, and that's why conflict happens, right? That is why conflict happens. She stabs her and starts bleeding, and they're like, holy shit, this is bad news. And then he's like, Mum, it's okay. I might have lost an eye, but I got a dragon. And that's kind of a fair exchange. Good point, sir. Good point. So things break up, right? And she gets visited by her father, the hand of the king, and he's like, "Girl, you're a player. I had no idea. Okay, we stand a chance of winning this war. Then, listen. I've read forward on the Wikipedia, and again, this is why George R. R. Martin is so good. Nobody wins. Every is miserable. Every dies and is miserable, right? That's what happens. Why? Because they don't listen to their fucking king, right? But okay. Anyway, so they sew her up, and she's like, "It's gonna be fine." So he has a whole thing. He feels super bad. I wasn't there to defend you. Yeah, he was busy fucking his friend, essentially his gay friend. And they're like, "Look, we're close. It's okay." The king leaves and he's falling apart. We get more dragon porn. Oh, the dragons are so cool, right? The dragon goes with them. He's claimed the dragon. And she says, "Look, we got to get married, okay? We need each other, right? We need each other." And he's like, "Well, your husband's still around." Says, "I know that. I can't marry him unless he's dead." I know that. She says, so basically she's like, okay, listen, he has to get killed. So then a really chilling moment, the queen is on the boat, and this guy, the spy master, says, listen, if you need an eye taken, I can take care of that for you. Just let me know. And she's like, that won't be necessary. But, I appreciate it, and it hasn't gone noticed, right? So let us bind our blood. My claim will not be so easily challenged, especially I have a very, very clearly Valerian child. So next thing you know, he's Matt Smith's going with a cloak too. This is the gay lover. Said, listen, there's a place you can go. It doesn't matter who you are, what your name is. Handful of silver, a handful of gold. You can have anything you want, right? So it says, here's what I need. I need him killed, her husband killed publicly with witnesses, right? A quick death. And he gives them a lot of money. So then a little bit later, and then he kills this guard, and they have a fight, and it gets very, very intense, right? And like the kid that says, I'm gonna get the guards, but by the time the guards come, they're just pulling his dead body out of the fire, right? And he's dead. They just killed him, right? And the mother's like, not doing so well. So that's all their kids dead, right? And he said, yes, once he's dead, we get married. So then you have like I don't know where they're doing this, probably Dragonstone. They do this clearly old Targaryen marriage ceremony, and you got all 4 kids together, which I kind of like. As they get married again, Matt Smith, a crazy sociopath in this, but very charismatic one at that. Meanwhile, a flashback that the guy who killed her husband runs to a boat to run away, and he's with this guy. So apparently the husband wasn't killed. That was just a fake body. I hope he tells his mother eventually, and he sails off for a life of relentless, very, 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 very good gay sex. Somewhere across the narrow sea. I like that. Was that Matt Smith's character's intention? I don't know, but I like that. No, he says somebody says for me. He says somebody needs to be murdered, not her husband. This was her husband's idea. It was he said she needs a husband. He gets to have what he wants to. Well, I like that, but I didn't know who's the plan. I have to re-listen to it. Oh, that is interesting. Right? But again, it's different from the Wikipedia, right? So I like that they have. I like they have the bone set out, right? And they have wiggle room to move away when they need to, which I think gives them the creative freedom to keep it fresh. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.